Hey guys, it's me. I was sitting here, like always, reading my Bible. I'm waiting to go to the dentist here at 3 o'clock. Still got my hands wrapped up. Funny story. Last night, here I am. I'm out here still trying to work on the yard and stuff. I'm not supposed to be. I'll admit it. But I was working on a lawnmower, and my dad gave me a new Craftsman knife last night. He gave me it's a nice one. It's a nice, box knife. And I'm trying to cut the gas line so I could reattach it because it was dry rotted. And I don't have very much strength in my hands right now, so I'm trying to cut it with two hands. Cranking on it. Went right through that hose. And right through my finger. Yep. So now I have 5 stitches going across this finger, 5 going down my palm, and 5 going down this palm. I'm having one heck of a year so far. But still, I believe this is God's way of testing my faith. And I'll be honest, it's a test. He's pouring it on, but I'm taking it, and I'm doing my best to remain humble. Last night I didn't show a very good show of humility when I was at the hospital, and I apologize to Claremont Mercy for that. But I went in, and I gushing blood. I literally almost cut my finger off on the tip. It was deep. It was all the way deep. It was kind of funny, really. And the thing is I sat there, and I was very patient. I sat there till I was there till almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got there at 9 o'clock. And my lack of humility really showed last night, and my lack of impatience. I practice patience every day, but last night I didn't show a good show of it. My aggravations, I think, stem from already not having full use of my hands, and that ain't nobody's fault but my own. So to anybody I might have lashed out at, I apologize. And that's why today, instead of reading straight through my Bible like I usually do, I decided to look up a couple words in the back and work on learning a little more about humility and patience and passing judgment and all that other stuff. Because I'll be honest, when I was walking out of Claremont Mercy last night, I said, "Your hospital sucks." I walked out with no dressing on my hand, obviously, on my finger, 5 stitches. But I sat there, and my discharge papers were, and I was just sitting there, and I got my pregnant girlfriend at the hospital with me, so I started getting aggravated, wanting to get out of there. So finally, I just said, "Screw this," and I jumped up and I walked out, and I said, "All right, bye guys, I'm rolling out." And the doctor's sitting right there at her computer, the nurse standing right there. My discharge papers were sitting right on the countertop, just sitting right outside of my room waiting on me. And then the doctor goes, "Well, his discharge papers are right there anyway, so go ahead." And I went, "Yep, your hospital sucks." So I shouldn't have done that. I couldn't help it. Like I said, there's still a lot of the same Kurt that'll never leave. But when my girlfriend's pregnant, she's going to get up. These are trying times. I can't really go to work. She's going to get up and go to work. She's pregnant, outside waiting in the car. Sorry. I'm going when I'm going. They ain't going to stop me. So, apologize, Claremont, for telling you guys sucked. My bad. Anyway, I was reading my Bible today. I was looking this up. Some verses on humility. And here in James 4:6, it says, "But he gives more grace. Therefore he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble." That was like a shot in the face right there. You know what I'm saying? First verse I went to got me. And after, James 4:7 says, "Therefore submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Lament and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning, and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. Do not speak evil of one another, brethren. He who speaks evil of a brother and judges his brother speaks evil of the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and destroy. Who are you to judge another?" I mean, right? I mean, it doesn't really get much more obvious or much more self-explanatory than that. And that's why I'm kind of reaching out here. You know, and it says, God resists the proud. You know, James is, in the book of James, he's actually quoting from Proverbs 3:34. And Proverbs 3:34 says, "Surely he scorns the scornful, but gives grace to the humble." I mean, humility's written all over this book, and I know I struggle with it very, very, very hard. I do. Hi, Lindsay. Listen, I wasn't downplaying the thing you got for the baby, just so we understand each other. I told her yesterday, I was laughing and joking, and told her, I said, to tell you thank you. Mine and her struggles are something I will not go over on this. This is not what this is meant for. This is actually meant to hopefully help anybody, any one of my friends who are watching, to understand what got me to where I'm at and my beliefs. I mean, because I love each and every one of my friends. If you're my friend, you know that. If we hung out in the past, who had your back? Who was the one that never backed down? Always right there. It's as simple as that. That's the way it goes. You know? That's what it is. And you know, this lesson in humility, I mean, it's written all over the Bible. It really is. You know, and you got lessons in here. The rich oppressors will be judged. This is all out of my study Bible. You know, I was sitting there last night and I was reading my Bible while I was getting stitched up. Oh, by the way, that was a good test. The doctor stitched me before my finger was numb, just to see if I could take it, I think. What I do, I smiled at her. I'm telling you, because there's nothing I cannot withstand with God on my side. And with God on your side, well, heck, we can do it together. You feel me? Like, it's just the way it is. I was sitting there reading my Bible last night on my phone, because I downloaded a Bible on my phone. And I was reading it, laying there getting stitched up. And I was talking to the doctor, and I said, you know, because I was reading about the crucifixion. I was reading in Mark. Actually, I was reading Mark 14, and then I moved on to 15. 15 is the part where he starts to basically, you know, where Jesus is taken in front of Pilate. He gets tried, and, you know, they literally beat him. After he is tried, the first word, the first verdict that comes out of their mouth is crucify. He didn't have a chance in hell. I mean, if you know what I'm saying, I mean, I apologize for the language. Daggone, they didn't give that man a chance. You know what I'm saying? And they literally took him. And this is all because of the priests, the high priests, and all of them who said he wasn't the Son of Man and accused him blasphemy of, you know, he saying he is this man that he is not. And the whole time, he was. And it took a crucifixion, it took torture to show the world that he was this truly good man. And, you know, so obviously, I mean, it says in here, Pilate, who is the governor, he did not want to. He didn't want to. Like he didn't want to do this. Even his wife came to him and begged him, asked him not to do it. You know, like, listen, he is who he says he is, but he couldn't upset the crowds. because the high priest had already pulled in crowds, mobs and all this other stuff. So they take him, and before they put him through this crucifixion, they take Jesus and the soldiers inside the where the dungeons and all that stuff are. They literally took him, stripped him down, put him in a red robe, put a crown of thorn on his head, just so they could stand there and laugh at him and mock him. I mean, you're already crucifying the guy. And what did Jesus do? He sat there and he took it. He took it like a champ. That's why, like they say, the glory of God is portrayed right here through Jesus. Because I can't think of one person on this earth who would be able to handle the torture and the beatings and the criticism and just utter evil that was done to this man, and still keep faith. Not one person would ever be able to go through this unless they had what he had from God, and that was a true relationship with him. He was the Son of Man. And all this with our government going on right now, all these with this, we bomb Syria, we bomb whoever, and we're trying, and we're letting them know we are the powerhouse. I understand Trump. I like Trump. I do. He's a good president in a lot of ways. I wish he would practice a little more humility. I like him because he's got that cocky attitude. We are the U.S. Yes, we are. We ain't gonna be the U.S. if he pisses off the whole world. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I like him, and kudos to Trump, all that good stuff. My family, we're all Trump voters, and well, they are. I don't vote. I just don't really get much into politics. But, I was sitting there and I was reading this and I was talking to the doctor. Missy was there. She stepped out of the room. We argued a little bit. I walked in, being myself, laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I walk in, I've got stitches on both hands. I didn't have these on, so my stitches were open. Like you could see the stitches down these two hands. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. I did have them wrapped up. These two hands were wrapped up in smaller gauzes. And then when I walked in, I'm holding my hand in some paper towels, and I literally filled up almost a whole roll of paper towels with blood. I still got bloody paper towels laying out in the yard I got to go get before I go to the dentist. Or that girl right there will have my neck. In a way, we battle a lot. But the God's honest truth is this is the relationship. Since I've been in this relationship, I've learned more about who I am, about my true meaning, and every day's a lesson. Every day's a test. And I'm sure each and every one of us have our daily tests. Mothers, fathers, friends, brothers, sisters, uncles, it doesn't matter. I talked about this last time. It says, love one another, basically. It's love thy neighbor. When you love your neighbor, that means that means your neighbor. Anybody you're walking by, you have to have forgiveness. And the forgiveness thing, like I said before, is something I do struggle with. But I've literally found. I think I found it, and I found it in God. I pray a lot. I was listening. I was in church last Sunday. Our regular preacher wasn't there, and we had a guest preacher because our preacher's out of town, and that's fine. You know, he was a good preacher. You know, a little pushy for me, but he was a good preacher. Like I respect his opinion. I respect his beliefs. Those are his. He's reading from the Bible, and he's explaining, you know, how to pray. But pray. When you pray meaningful. You say the Lord's Prayer. And he kept just repeating that, like when you pray, this is how you pray. And he was reading from the Bible, the verse that says it, which is true, to an extent. But God hears all prayers. That's said in here too. I'm pretty sure that the Lord's Prayer is a wonderful prayer to pray. I mean, Jesus said it in the Bible. It's written in red. That right there tells you it's an important prayer. But it doesn't downplay any other prayers that anybody else has to say. I picked up one of the boys from my baseball team. He asked me. I took him to church last week, and he stayed the night with us. And we took him last weekend. Well, my girlfriend's son Mason was at his dad's this weekend, and it was just me and her. But one of the boys come up to me after the game on Saturday. There's 2 games. The second game, he said, "Can I go to church with you again this week?" Absolutely. You know what I mean? I said, "Did you like it? Did you enjoy church?" He said, "Yeah, I really liked it." You know, I'm like, "Oh, okay, well." He did. He sat through church last weekend and filled out the little pamphlet, fill in the blanks, followed along as the preacher was preaching and filling in the blanks. And he did it again this weekend. And I don't know if it was wrong with me or not, but I explained to him sitting there. I said, "Listen, the lesson that this man is yelling at you about praying, that's his opinion. You don't have to agree with it, or it's wrong." I told him, I said, "That's wrong." I said, you know, like with children being in the room, you know, I grew up saying, "Now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take." And, you know, and then we would say, we would count our blessings, our family members, or say things we were thankful for, and all of that other stuff. And he was talking about babbling in prayer. Well, I think when somebody hits their knees to pray, that it's impossible. You can't babble in prayer. How can you babble in prayer if everything coming from if you're speaking from your heart? I have met people who don't know how to pray, who gave it an effort, who I've listened to them pray, and it's the prayers that where you see them struggling to want to say this prayer right, but they're saying it from the heart. They're saying what they know, what they think, what they mean, and they're saying it from their heart. I think those are the most important prayers in the world, because that's a person trying to learn how to pray. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a beautiful thing. You know, praying does take practice, just like everything else in the world. But I promise you, when you start praying, when you start out praying, it may sound stupid the way you say it in your mind, or you may think that, well, I don't know how to pray. That doesn't sound as good as your prayers. You're wrong. Your prayers sound better than mine. First of all, because they're your prayers. They're not mine. I love when people pray around me. I can't help it. I like it. It makes me feel good. And I'm at the point now where I really love this. I love this learning that in these like enhancements that I'm getting through the Lord, and now I have to go to the dentist. The devil. I'm just kidding. The dentist ain't the devil. Actually, I don't mind the dentist. Every time I go to the doctor, I know something's getting fixed, or I'm getting checked to make sure nothing's wrong. That's a positive thing. You know, like I know kids struggle with going to the doctor and going to the dentist and everything like that. I'll be honest, I don't like the idea of going down here to the dentist. I really don't. I think it's a horrible idea. But in the long run, it's going to be a beneficial idea, and it's what's in the works right now. And I'm not really sure what God's ultimate plan is for me, but I can tell you one thing: all these blessings that He's bestowed on me in these past couple months, being a baseball coach, getting everything fixed on my body, with a hernia, 2 hands, bam, and surgery, and then surgery. Well, it's been a true test, and I've been like, this one was the test of pain. Wide awake, numbing not even kicked in. Wanted to see if I could take it, and I laid there and smiled at her. Like, this is all temporary. This is like this is our temporary home. It's in country songs. It's in gospel music. It's in everything. And I'm finally starting to understand what they say about giving your whole self, like entrusting your whole life to God. Because if you do, it doesn't matter. Like everything else, like all the negative. Yeah, we still got to live our lives, and in this world, it's survival of the fittest. That it is. That I promise. It is survival of the fittest. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, I don't know. Like I find when I do things, I like to do them passionately. When I apologize, I like to apologize passionately. When I thank people, I like to thank them passionately. I do things from the heart. I've got a big heart. Sometimes I wear it on my sleeve. Sometimes I don't. It's a blessing. It's a curse. It's all that other good stuff. It really is. Oh, I got a message. Might be getting close to my dentist time. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, look. Yeah, I do. It's my girlfriend got me a watch. Oh, yeah. 25 minutes. I gotta be at the dentist at 3 o'clock. So, but, yeah, I think we all, we all practice humility in some ways. And I think the ultimate goal is total humility in every situation in life. And I failed at that last night with the hospital, but still human. My girlfriend, pregnant with my daughter, in the car waiting on me, and I'm sitting there, and 30 minutes rolls by when they tell me all I got to do is sign my papers, and they'll throw a wrap on this, and I'm out the door. 30 minutes rolls by, and I see nobody. Girlfriend and baby come first. I could have went without the comments. Or maybe I couldn't have. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still me. I don't know. But either way. My mom called me. And she's struggling. She's struggling with finding time and finding this and that to read her Bible and everything. And everybody needs to know everything's going to be alright. I mean, if there's one thing I can promise, is that if you have God in your heart, everything's going to be okay. There's a few things you need to practice. Sure, we could all use some improvements. I could use a lot of improvements. Will I reach them all before I die? No, because that'll make me perfect. I ain't perfect. Only one man who ever walked this earth was perfect. And he's in heaven waiting to come back, watching over each and every one of us. So, till that day, I'll keep making my mistakes. But from here on out, I'll learn from them. That's the lesson. That's the ultimate lesson. Judge not. There's not a person in this world I could look at with one defect in their life. Not one. that I would ever have the right to pass judgment on. I've been to some crappy, dark places, man. And I have cried more in these past 2 weeks than I have in my entire life. And it's not over sadness. It's literally over joy. It's right here. I'm telling you. Look, I got bookmarks falling out and stuff reading around in these daggone books. But, you know, I always thought, seen crying as a weakness, and if I did cry, it was by myself. And I didn't like crying in front of others. You know what I mean? Now it's a strength. It's like because when I'm reading this book and something touches me, and if you read it, it'll touch you too. I promise. I swear to God, it will. I swear on Him, it will. There will be something in this book that reaches out and it grabs you. Now, you're going to want to run from it because you're going to get scared. It's going to scare you. It scared me. I bawled my eyes. I mean, I wept. I cried like a baby. And, don't run from it. Grab it. Learn more about it. Harness it. I'm telling you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I listened to a preacher tell a story about Jonah and the whale. Talking about how Jonah was in his own prison in his own mind. I lived there too. I still struggle with it. I still have my struggles with it. This is huge for me, being able to do this. I'll be honest, it is. It's hard. It's still hard for me to get on here and do this. But every time I do, you know, with the small chance of just helping someone, that I might help one person achieve eternal glory. Well, that helps me, and that makes all this worth it. Helps my struggle. I struggle through this. But it helps me knowing that I may have helped you. And if I do, you ain't got to tell me. You really don't. Because tomorrow, I'm going to do this again. And I'm going to try again. Because I love my friends. I do. I love my family. I love my children. All of them. Alright, I gotta get to the dentist, guys. Sorry for getting all serious and sappy there in the end. You know, horse walks into the bar, bartender says, "Why the long face," right? Peace out, y'all. Love you. Bye.